welcome to this macro session. In this session I'm going to teach you about how to use the macro lens, the plain macro lens. In addition, you're going to learn how to use the extended tube. It has no glass, but it makes you able to get really close up to your subjects. And we're also going to talk about the use of the 2x extender on the macro lens to get really close up. And we're going to talk about the macro flash from Canon. It's the Canon MT24EX flash, and it's very useful. We're going to get into the details later here. So let's go to work. Here we have a lot of wood anemone flowers. I'm going to be careful. I find a position here where there are no flowers, so I don't destroy them. And I'm going to do the same when I put down my tripod, so I don't destroy these beautiful flowers. And I'm using a tripod with a short column, so I can get low down to the ground and get more close-up photos of these beautiful flowers. So I position the tripod so I don't destroy these flowers. I have to do it more like this. Here we go. We're going to go drop it a little bit down this leg. A little bit closer. Then we can fine tune. Like this. Yes, here we have it. A little bit back. So here's the wood anemone flower, and you can see it's moving in the wind. So I have to time when I press the shutter. So I wait when it's still, and then I press the shutter. This is with a plain 180mm lens. So it's a little bit windy, so I also have to time when I press my shutter. I'm going to work in manual light metering. So the first thing I do, I select the ISO, and I'm selecting ISO 800 now because I want relatively fast shutter speeds. And I pick up the aperture, and I want to work in f8, aperture f8. Fine tune. Now this flower is filling the frame. This small flower, so this 180mm macro lens is very powerful. I'm also going to do one more thing, and that is to activate the mirror lockup. That means the mirror in this digital SLR camera, it will go up first. So I have to press 2 times. First one for the mirror, it goes up, and second, the curtain. And that is to avoid camera shake from the shutter. So it's also important you use the cable release, and also important to time when you press the shutter, because it's a little bit windy and I have to wait when the wind is still, then I press the shutter. So I'm going to measure the light, manual light metering. I'm going to do the spot meter, so I fine tune that, so we get correct exposure. There we go. Fine tune the sharpening, a little bit up in the composition. Perfect. That's very nice light, a little bit soft sunlight. Now I have to wait a little bit. Wait for the wind to stop. The light is changing, so I have to adjust a little bit faster. Now I'm at f8, ISO 800 and 1/2000 of a second. Fine tune the composition a little bit. Here we go. And then wait. There we have it. Yes. Perfect. How do we set up the mirror lockup? I go into the camera menu here, and it's under autofocus drive here on this Canon EOS 5D camera, and I press the enter here, and here it says mirror lockup. So I go in here and I need to enable it. You see now it's in enable position. If I want to change it, I can disable it here. Now it's not on. Now it's on. So to take a picture now, I have to press this shutter 2 times. So you can see I press here 1 time, the mirror goes up. I wait a few seconds till the camera is still, and I press another time, and it took the picture. In this sequence we're going to use the extension tube. So the extension tube is very useful, so we can get the subject very close, and it has no glass, as you can see. So I'm gonna put it on. The first thing I do, I turn off the camera, because when I remove it from the lens it will attract a lot of dust on the sensor if the camera is on. I put this on and put it on the lens. So now we are able to get this flower much closer to the lens. So now we can move closer up without, we can move this rock a little bit over here. So it enables me to get more down and more close. Here you can see the flower through the macro lens with the extension tubes, and as you can see we are much closer now than just with the single macro lens. So I'm using the 180mm lens, and with the extension tubes I get things much closer. And the depth of field is very narrow, so I have only 1 or 2 millimeters with depth of field when I'm using the extension tubes, but it can be an option for another creative approach to this flower. Now it's very windy, so I had to wait a little bit before I take my picture. Fine tuning. Need to adjust the light metering. Now it's more in shade. Now it's more in shade, so I had to set up my ISO to get faster shutter speeds and maintain my aperture. So I go to ISO 1600, and that gives me now in this light 1/400 of a second. Hopefully that is enough if I take the picture when the flower is still. Also use the mirror lockup. Now it's moving. I press the mirror lockup now. Then I wait for the wind to stop. Here. So you have to be very careful, you have to time it so you get the best shot and a sharp shot. In this sequence we're going to add on the tele extender, the 2x tele extender. So we're going to use the 180mm macro lens, the extension tubes, and this one. Then we get really close. This flower is going to be very close now. First thing, I shut off the camera, and now we're going to release it here. So the extension tubes are here, and I put this on. And now we have a very powerful lens. So turn the camera on again. Gonna fine tune the composition because now we can get things really close up here. So we're gonna move in a little bit more over here, and we can fine tune the composition. Actually, I'm going to go a little bit back. Here we are. Yes, now I'm in the center of that small flower. Now I'm using the 180mm macro lens with the extension tubes and the tele extender. You see now I'm very much closer, and I'm into the center of this small flower. So it's a powerful tool. If you really want to go close, you can use extension tubes and tele extender on your macro lens. Fine tune the composition. Give it up. Yes, you have it there. Fine tune the sharpening. And I'm gonna set up the ISO a little bit up to ISO 2000, and I need a little bit faster shutter speed. Now I'm at f8 and 640 seconds exposure. Just a little bit there. I'm gonna press the shutter one time, then the mirror goes up, and then I wait for the wind to stop. Then I press the shutter, and then the curtain goes up. Yes, works good. One more. Fine tuning. Oh, now it's very windy, it's moving. Flower is moving, it's very hard to adjust the sharpening. Focus. Now it's more still. Let's try one there. Shutter goes up. The mirror goes up. Then I have to wait for the wind to stop. Then I press one more time, and then the curtain goes up and I take the picture. Have some patience. There, the right moment. Yes. Welcome to this macro flash session. In this sequence we're going to use the macro flash, and this is a Canon macro flash, and it has two flash units here mounted at the front of the lens, and we can adjust the position of these flashes in various positions. One over, one under. We can fine tune the angle of the flash, and It's pretty much a small mini studio, and you can bring it out in the field. You can also take, for example, one flash unit off, hold it over, hold it under, or behind, or on one of the sides. I also use the soft boxes on the flash because normally the flashlight from the plain flash is too hard, so I put on these soft boxes, and the light will be much better and produce better images. This flash also has a modeling lamp. I can press this button, and if I hold the flash units towards the camera here, you can see the light, and it lights up in 30 seconds, and it enables me to focus when I'm out at nighttime or in low light, and I can take pictures, and sharp pictures. I'm going to work in manual mode, and fine-tune the settings. I'm going to put on the high-speed sync setting. So I press the button here to get it into the high-speed sync. I'm going to show you now how you set high-speed sync on the macro flash, and you see these two buttons here, and we press them at the same time, these two. Then the high-speed sync sign appear up in the upper right corner here, and we are ready to shoot high-speed syncs with faster shutter speed. Faster shutter speeds, if you don't put this on, the fastest shutter speed you can use is 1/200 of a second. But with this on, it's synchronized with the faster shutter speeds. And fine-tune the ISO, set it down to 200, and I'm gonna adjust a bit there. Take one shot. Remember, I use the mirror lockup, so first thing I do, I press the shutter and the mirror goes up, then I wait a few seconds till it's more still, and then the curtain goes up and the flash goes off. Yes, nice. Nice shot. Try another. And fine-tune the composition a little bit. Okay, press the shutter one more time and wait for the wind to stop. There we took the picture. Yes, very nice light. So that's one. I'm shooting now in high-speed sync on the flash. That means I work in manual mode, and I set the shutter speed up to 1/640th of a second at ISO 200 and aperture f8. Now I'm going to work with the ratio. I'm going to put more flash in the left flash than in the right flash. Let's see how that turns out. I press the ratio button, and then I go to the left. I'm going to show you how to set up the ratio, and that means we can adjust the flash power between the right and left flash. And first you press this button, the ratio, then you have the numbers here. If I press this button to the left, it moves to the left, and here on this side I have 8:1, means the left flash will have 8 times more flash than the right one. And if I go back to this one, here's a 4:1, and it's 2:1, and in the center we have 1:1, equal in each flash. So if I want to go to the right, I can continue. Now it's 2 to 1 here. Press a couple of times more. 4 to 1. And at the end here, 8 to 1. So we can fine tune the flashlight and the flash power between right and left. Now we're going to put all the flash in the left one. It's now, most of it is 8 to 1, 8 times more flash than in the left one than in the right one. Yes, a little bit different. And we're going to do the opposite. We press the one. Now we have 8 times more flash in the right one than in the left one. Let's see what happens here now. Wait for the wind to stop. And there. Yes, a little bit different. So you can play with these flashes and get more creative options and different pictures. So there's no limit in what you can do, so just experiment and see what you can do with your equipment. Now I'm shooting with a flash at the rear curtain sync settings. That means the flash goes off at the end of the exposure. Now I'm going to show you how to set the flash on rear curtain sync. That means the flash goes off at the end of the exposure. And we do that by pressing these 2 buttons at the same time. And we do it first 1 time, then the high speed sync appears, and 1 more time. And now we have the rear curtain sync sign here. It's 3 arrows and the last one is dark. So then we are ready to shoot, and the flash goes off at the end of the exposure. I'm gonna work with this small group of wood anemones, and I'm gonna take advantage of movements. I'm gonna move the camera over approximately, now I'm at 1/6 of a second, and the flash goes off at the end of the exposure, and that gives me both motion and both sharpness. So I'm going to move short, fast. Yes, interesting. Interesting. Short movements. Yes, I like it. Yes, that was one. There we have it. Very nice. So rear curtain sync is a creative option we can use and get more creative pictures. Now I'm gonna take advantage of the wind, and the flowers are moving in the wind, and I have the flash on rear curtain sync. Means it goes off at the end of the exposure. So at shutter speed 0.3 seconds, I will get a motion in the wind, and the flash will freeze the flowers, and so get a combination of motion and sharpness in one image. So now it's windy, I press the shutter one more time. Yes. So I'm shooting at aperture f/22 at ISO 50, and now I'm at 0.3 seconds. See, wait for the wind. Need some more wind. Try one there. Yes. One more. I like it. Nice. One more. So now image will be similar, so you just have to expand your creativity and try different options. And this is the last session today. I'm going to use my 24 to 70mm lens with my off-camera flash, and it's connected with a cable. I'm going to work in aperture priority mode. My zoom is on 50mm, and I have set the setting here to rear curtain sync on this flash. That means the flash goes off at the end of the exposure. I'm going to set the flash on rear curtain sync, and then I have to press this button here. You see the sign? Now it's on high speed sync. Now it shows it's on rear curtain sync. To go back, I press one more time and it's off. So press 2 times on this button. First the high speed sync comes, then the rear curtain sync. So we are ready to shoot. And now I'm shooting in aperture priority mode at ISO 50, aperture f22, and I have 0.5 seconds exposure, so I will get the combination of motion blur and sharpness created by the flash. So I'm going to move the camera, I'm going to hold flash here and move the camera during the exposure upwards. The flash goes off at the end. Yes, it's almost like the flowers are dancing. Yes, we got it. We got it. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you soon in the next.